The Yu-Gi-Oh metagame is completely different now. With the October 3rd Forbidden List coming into effect, one would have to wonder, what is the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh? Don't worry, big dog. In this tier list, we got you. Of course, we have 5 different categories this time around. We got Meta Changer. This is the best of the best. These are tier 1 decks, but we'll define how our meta is. From there, we have tier 1. Look, there's really no real difference between Meta Changer and tier 1. Other than Meta Changer defines what we play. From there, it is tier 2. These strategies are pretty good in the right pilot's hands, but unfortunately, there's something that may keep them from being tier 1. Rogue is a strategy, or these strategies that may have really good matchups against certain decks in tier 1 and Meta Changer, but can struggle overall. And then our last one, Hopium and Friends. Chad actually picked that one because if you are playing these particular cards, you're probably thinking that Cyberjar is the best card off of the Forbidden List and it'll be able to clap and change the game. Let's go ahead and jump on in to this tier list where we can start putting these decks in the correct spots. ABC? Solid tier 2 deck. ABC didn't necessarily get weaker. Christian, Huckley, Fibrix, and Catacruler obviously do not affect this deck whatsoever. But the thing that I'm concerned for in ABC is its ability to be able to play past the next most important turns, which is going to be turns 2 and 3 in this format, and also it being able to deal with some of the other tier 1 decks. Of course, still, ABC Dragon Buster is an amazing card, but losing card economy through that card isn't great. And then there's also the Dark Ruler No Mores and the Forbidden Droplets in the card game that literally destroy this deck. I think that is a solid tier 2 deck. With the right pilot, it will be great. And I think we're gonna make our first bold take. I don't think that this deck will be tier 1 by the time Darkwing Blast comes out, but for right now, I might just say Invoked is tier 1. Now listen to me, guys, listen to me. There are a few things that make Invoked ridiculously good right now. Chat's probably like, oh my God, what are you doing? No, not Invoked format. El Shadow Winda. Well, I mean, that could kind of be one of them. El Shadow Winda could be pretty good in a format, especially when you summon it for free. We know Tearlament and Sprite love to special summon, and that could be a healthy check. But what I love about Invoked is not only spellbook cards, it being a spellcaster deck and being able to use the spellbook cards really well. Magician Souls now has a place inside of the deck. Not only can you pitch dead spell cards, maybe it's a dead Nadir Servant, maybe it's a dead Fusion Destiny to draw cards, it's also a monster that you can now link into your Crawly Prophecyr, which gets you into more spellbook cards. This deck actually has a bigger engine. I don't know, man. I could be an Hopium, though. I could be an Hopium. You guys, chat's gonna definitely let me know. It's a crazy take. Whoa, tier 1. Maybe Hopium World. Let me know what you guys think. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about these cards and where I put them. Ignister, solid tier 2 deck. The thing that I dislike about Ignister right now, your boss monster, the Arrival Cybersat Ignister, isn't as powerful as we want it to be. It isn't. Let's just flat out say it isn't. But the strategy is really good. Of course, my favorite thing about Ignister is it being able to play Mathmech cards and still make that unaffected by card effect monster, but also being able to play the Super Fractoral inside his deck. The only reason why I'm going to put in that tier 2 status is because pure Mathmech right now just might be better. Despia, guys, here comes another bold take. It's tier 1. It's tier 1. Yo, no cap. These are 100% overestimations. But I'm gonna stick by my guns and explain to you why they're good overestimations. The loss of Christian Huckley Fibrix. The loss of that card means that decks cannot Scythe Lock. Decks cannot Scythe Lock. Yo, except for Despia. Despia can Scythe Lock. It is one of the very few decks that can Scythe Lock, and you guys know how powerful it is. I know what you guys are thinking. TheCaliEffect, we just play Forbidden Droplet. Have you seen a lot of the topping deck lists? Like, seriously, no one is playing Forbidden Droplet right now. There's no reason to. People think that Totally Awesome's dead. Like, Dark Ruler no more. It doesn't cost you card economy. And card economy is huge in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. We just CYCLONE for free. At least for right now. Man, nothing happened to Despia. It's still good. Agreed. 100% agreed. And if you have not seen my deck profile, you're literally sleeping. I think it will catch a lot of players by surprise and be that cusp tier 1, tier 2 type deck. Dynamite! Yo, True Draco, guys. Chat, where you guys put True Draco? Do we put it on Hopium and Friends? We put it at Meta Changer? What we put in the chat? No Extrav Festival? It's Meta Changer? Yo, they're right. We're not in Master Duel festivals right now. It's Rogue. Dynamite the True Draco Fighter to 3 does help. A lot of people didn't know, but the spellbook engine actually does help. And it is floodgate.deck, which means, you know, Red Reboot getting banned does help. There's a lot of things going for True Draco's way. Unfortunately, I think at the very best, True Draco will be a tier 2. We're going to go ahead and put it in Rogue. Dynamite is huge, though. I will give it to it. Dynamite is huge. Dinomorphia, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say it's still Rogue. A solid Dinomorphia player will get the max value off of Dinomorphia Rexter. But what I'm really scared of is Sprite players have started to figure out, oh, your monster? You mean our monster? They're playing Change of Hearts. They're playing enemy controllers. They're playing mind controls. They're playing triple tactics talent. Yo, these guys are playing all of the let me take your bish cards. Drytrons, guys. If I had to put Drytrons in a place, you know, originally I did think tier 2. I did think tier 2, but I think this deck's tier 1. And I'm gonna explain to you why. Players, I assume, will be overly playing Grunic. They will be overly playing Runic right now. A Morph Factor Fade makes you skip your main phase, and the Runic cards make you skip your battle phase. I think that that's sneaky clutch right now. Also, Drytron is a very good going second deck. Benten to 3? Chrono says, and they not getting much from Benten since Eva's banned. Yo, Benten, this is actually the biggest thing. Benten to 3 is another target for Natasha to take your bish. This is gonna be take your bish format. Drytron, go second. Take your bish. Links off with it. Keeps playing. Yo. Bro, all 3 of these could be the hottest of takes. These literally could be me on Hopium, and they could be tier 2 decks, but we gonna make those bold takes. That's exactly what we do at the beginning of the format. Outlich. It did get better because of Red Reboot, but I don't think that's enough to keep it in the tier 2 stats. Heroes, I'm going to say tier 2. I think heroes have all of the ability with 3 Fusion Destiny and Dark Law, but I don't think that that's enough to put them over the roof just yet. Moving on, we got Exo Stepsisters, guys. Where you rating the Stepsisters, guys? Yo, genuinely, if the format just so happens to be both players or everybody playing the Meta Changer decks, it's the best tier 1 deck outside of my Bolt. Like bold take. If I had to put them in order, it'd be Exo Sisters, Drytron, Despia, Invoked. If I had to put it in that. But if it becomes like a 2-deck format again, you guys seen what happened. The mind doesn't need to be Mystic for its Exo Sister to actually be good. Like this is one of those decks that just, yo, I don't care. You guys touch the graveyard more than can't say what I'm gonna say. Fluundereeze, guys. I think that the meta will revolve around Fluundereeze. Fluundereeze, in my opinion, is hands down the 3rd best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Strongly because it literally takes all of the other decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And be like, yo, can you play around Dimensional Shifter? Because I'm gonna be maining Dimensional Shifter for Tier Element. And if you can't, then this deck is, yeah. Not only that, we lost Red Reboot. Rest in peace, Red Reboot. And I think that's a bigger buff to Fluundereeze than the Outlich, because a lot of players would cite that Red Reboot to be able to stop that Fluundereeze Dreaming Town. Because if you stop that and you don't normal summon, which a lot of decks can do, you're in a good spot. Sprite, guys, is still one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Losing Ronin Totem does nothing, especially when Darkwing Blast comes out. This is pre-Darkwing Blast, but even then, there's still Sprite Tri-Brigade. There's still just Sprite Frogs, because drawing Swap Frog is still full combo. There's still so many ways for Sprite to be able to come into the game and still take over and be one of the better decks. I have Heroes here twice. We're just going to go ahead and say that this is Neospatian. Yo, guys, Neospatian, you're Hopium. You're big opium. It's not happening. It's not happening. Again, Red Reboot Ban, we're going to point to that a lot. I think Labyrinth becomes a solid tier 2 deck, and if I had to order these, it would go in this exact order. But Labyrinth is really good. Again, when Darkwing Blast comes out, this will do a tier list again because Darkwing Blast changes so much. For right now, we just have to worry about no Red Reboot. I feel like this deck probably could play the Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer engine too, so that'll be cool. Marine says solid tier 2 deck, guys. If we had to rank it, it'll probably be above ABC. What I love so much about this deck is that it has its great 1-card combos that allows you to be able to make full board and you can protect your floodgate. The bad thing is we know that Cosmic Cyclone is going to be played a lot into this format, not only to be able to hit some of the, you know, past runic cards, but also just because it's a great card against some of the better decks. Tier limit, you still could use it on against a Fluent Reef player to hit map. It's decent against Sprite to be able to hit the Sprite smashers and stuff before they can use the effect. That's just overall a great card. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in that, you know, in that, where it is. Next for Mathmech, guys. Mathmech. I don't think Mathmech is a meta changer. I do think Mathmech is a tier 1 strategy, though. It is one of the best strategies because it is the best Cybers deck. It still has all of the 1-card combos, but the best thing is Super Fractorial being able to banish cards on your opponent's turn. And again, we're going to keep mentioning it. Red Reboot Ban is the biggest adjustment I feel outside of some of the other bans to the Forbidden List, and Mathmech's going to take full advantage. It's going to ride on that. Predator Plant right now is Rogue. This deck can't Scythe Lock like this deck can. Like, so what are we doing? I guess it can search Super Polymerization, but the biggest thing we're going to worry about right here is Scythe Lock. Punk, guys. Ooh. Punk's in the Rogue spot. Me and TJ are going to get into the lab. Because Chaotic Ruler, we've already said, the Chaotic Ruler ban does not matter. The Hulk ban sucked. Not gonna count. It really did. So I'm gonna put it in the Rogue strategy, Rogue category. Jam Dragon Drive still search you anything. I think the best thing that this deck has for it is its Noah Punk Amazing Dragon. That card is ridiculous. Bouncing up to 4 cards on your opponent's field. Unfortunately, in order to do that, you got to share a Kusai, which means you play into Dark Ruler no more. Rika, solid rogue. Solid rogue. The mine is still mystic, my friends. Chat, can we get some dots? But in all seriousness, this being able to tribute over your opponent's monsters for effect, players are really going to have to start respecting Rika Konkun, because tributing your opponent's monsters for cost is amazing, and then getting the Rika effects are really, really good. But I'm going to go ahead and say solid rogue. Rocket Dragon Link. Pre-Darkwing Blast. Day after day, it feels like I pushed against the clouds. I'm not saying that this deck is dead. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying right now, ain't no way. Ain't no way. All of the combos that I'm thinking about with Rockets, with Dragon Link, you could just play a different combo deck. At least in my head right now, we're trying to cook for Rockets, but right now, I don't think this is the move. Runic are gonna change Yu-Gi-Oh. Whether it's Runic Sprite that's gonna wind up being a thing, whether it's Runic Tier Limit, whether it's Runic this, Runic that, Runic Burn, Runic Mill, Runic is going to be one of the defining traits of the format, strictly because there are going to be players that are going to need to play Cosmic Cyclone for this strategy. You're going to need to play certain cards. Like, I can even see players playing cards like Spell Counselor to be able to stop this deck. Like, the fact that we need to play around this card in Mystic Mind, or this strategy in Mystic Mind, is what makes it a meta changer. Pure Runic, I'd probably say maybe tier 2 or Rogue, but like just the Runic cards overall, we're going to have to look out for those. Solomon Great's a solid Rogue deck. Unfortunately for me, I think that the Cyber strategies are going to take a step back. Those 1-card combos and Access Code Talker and all that other stuff is really, really cool. But unfortunately, players aren't going to be like really noticing them too much because of Destiny Hero Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer, Spellbook cards, all that other great stuff, which nobody's going to be, nobody's going to be paying attention with Cybers, but they're still going to be fairly strong. They're going to take a little bit of a backseat because of representation, and they were already not too great inside of power. Scareclaw, Rogue, really, really solid Rogue deck. I love Scareclaw. I personally love Scareclaw. But to be honest with you, Scareclaw is It ain't it right now. Especially with the loss of Christian Hockley-Fibrix, that sucks. That really does suck. Sky Striker, guys. Oh my God. Chat, do you disagree with this? Not only do they still have Mystic Mine, they got Destiny Hero Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer, Spellbook of Judgment, and the Runic cards. Fuck, man. Spellbook by itself, I think will be a solid tier 2 deck. I think Spellbook will be good, just not overbearingly powerful like how some players would think. As an engine, it helps Sky Striker, it helps Runic, it helps, you know, the Alistair strategy. So, yeah. It's a good engine, not a great, like, deck. We also still got to watch out for Eradicator of Image Virus. Sword Soul's tier 2. Let's just be honest, guys. Problems with Sword Soul is your going first boards are not scary, and everybody's playing board breakers to not only break your going first boards, but Sword Soul has always had a problem with, like, following up afterward. Like, if you break this deck's board, it ain't good. That's why I always like going second with Sword Soul. Tier Limit, it's still the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! This is still the best, right? Tier Limit's still the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. Let's not cap. Losing Fairy Tail Snow hurts, but not enough. Nowhere near enough. Therion. I like this deck. I like Therion so much. But you're on Hope if you think that it's going to be anything above Hopium and Friends. Tri-Brigade, really good tier deck. Whether you're playing Sprite or whether you're playing pure Tri-Brigade is already topped over the recent format. It's still really good. And I don't think anything changes here. I think that Tri-Brigade is ridiculously good still. Trickstar is an engine. I feel like Trickstar as an engine is tier 2. Trickstar as a deck is Hopium and Friends. I love that Trickstar Light Stage can make... Trickstar Light Stage is literally your red reboot. You activate Trickstar Light Stage, and then your opponent has to use those cards like Flew Under Reset, Advancing the Adventure, because if they don't, you get to stop the card for a whole turn and then search and extend it. So that can be it. I don't have any hope for Trickstars as its own deck though. Even with the Light Stage at 3, even with Scapegoat at 3, I think it's a little bit too slow. Adventure as an engine, solid tier 2 engine. As a deck, this ain't happening, dog. Hockley-Fibrix is banned, so this really wasn't happening. It wasn't good in the beginning. Your Hopium, if your Hopium is high, if you think that it's different. And then lastly, Crystal Beast. Let's not cap. That's complete Hopium. That's complete Hopium. Reincarnation Droll is still a strong play. Droll and Lockbird is a ridiculously good card. I don't think that that's still it, dog. I just genuinely don't. And that is all that I have for the meta tier list post October 3rd. Of course, we made some really bold takes here. I want to know, what do you guys think about it? Go ahead and let me know down below. But of course, check out these other videos. Go ahead and click on that video now for more amazing CaliEffect content.